6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Abdur Rafe Sohail. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has reiterated government's firm commitment to provide maximum relief to deserving people in the wake of inflation. Interior Minister has warned of strict action against elements involved in smuggling and their facilitators. The British government has offered all possible help for the people of Pakistan in mitigating socio-economic crisis. Minister of State for Foreign Affairs will lead Pakistani delegation at the 4th meeting of the neighbouring countries of Afghanistan in Samarkand tomorrow. All Parties Hurriyat Conference says by holding G20 meeting in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Modi-led fascist government is attempting to hide its crimes. And an Iranian delegation has arrived in Saudi Arabia to finalize arrangements for reopening of embassy in Riyadh and consulate in Jeddah. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif has reaffirmed government's commitment to provide maximum relief to the deserving people in the wake of inflation. He was talking to the people during a visit to free flour distribution points in Dera Ghazi Khan today. The Prime Minister said that free flour is being distributed among the needy people despite economic challenges faced by the country. He said helping the deserving community is topmost priority of the government. The Prime Minister examined points of free distribution of flour bags and reviewed the arrangements. He interacted with the people and expressed satisfaction on the arrangements made for the distribution of free flour bags. He also inquired about the problems being faced by the people and distributed the flour bags among them himself. The Prime Minister said that we are determined to make the country as per vision of Quaid-e-Azam and Allama Iqbal. Interior Minister Rana Sanaullah has reiterated the government's resolve to take strict action against elements involved in smuggling and their facilitators. He was chairing a meeting in Islamabad today to check smuggling of wheat, sugar, fertilizer and other essential commodities. The Interior Minister directed to ensure implementation of track and trace system to essential items so that the elements involved in smuggling of these items can be checked. He also directed to prevent excessive supply of essential commodities in the border districts. The minister said strict action will be taken against officers and staff involved in smuggling. For this purpose, he stressed the need of launching joint operations in intelligence sharing among these institutions. Acting British High Commissioner to Pakistan Andrew Dalglish called on Finance Minister Mohammad Ishaq Dar in Islamabad today. During the meeting, Andrew Dalglish commended the measures being taken by the incumbent government for economic stability and offered all possible help from the British government for the people of Pakistan in mitigating the socio-economic crisis. The Finance Minister briefed the envoy on the progress in talks with the International Monetary Fund and apprised the overall economic outlook of the country. He also briefed the envoy on pragmatic policies and programs of the government being taken in terms of revenue generation and bringing economic stability and growth. The Finance Minister appreciated the British Acting High Commissioner for his cooperation and support. Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari has appreciated the United Nations partnership under the UN-Pakistan framework to advance socio-economic development in the country. He was talking to the UN resident and humanitarian coordinator in Pakistan, Julian Harness, who called on him in Islamabad today. Pakistan-UN cooperation, including in development and humanitarian domains, also came under discussion. Chairman Senate Sadiq Sanjarani says Pakistan is committed to timely completion of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. He was talking to a 3-member delegation of Chinese embassy in Pakistan headed by Charge d'Affaires Pang Shunshu in Islamabad today. The chairman said China's investment in Pakistan under CPEC has provided new employment opportunities to the youth. He said with the completion of CPEC, the entire region will develop and the elements opposed to China-Pakistan Economic Corridor will never succeed in their nefarious designs. The chairman also appreciated China's key role in establishing good relations between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Minister for Information and Broadcasting Maryam Aurangzeb says the government has always upheld the right to free speech as a sacred cause. In her tweets today, she said the government is committed to this principle. However, the enforcement of ethics related to coverage of acts of terrorism is a global code as well as part of national law. The Information Minister said it is what we owe to the people who are victims of terrorism, and it is what responsible journalism is. Referring to some concerns expressed regarding a recent Pembroke order about coverage ethics of violent scenes involving acts of terrorism and their aftermath, she said this boundary is set all over the world. She said every responsible media, body and organization adheres to these ethics across the board without exception. This news bulletin comes to you from Radio Pakistan. President Dr. Arif Alvi says the entire nation is united to stamp out the menace of terrorism from the country. He was talking on telephone to the heirs of the security forces personnel martyred in recent acts of terrorism. The president paid tribute to the martyrs for sacrificing their lives in the war against terrorism. Minister of State for Foreign Affairs Hina Rabbani Khar will lead the Pakistani delegation at the 4th meeting of the neighboring countries of Afghanistan to be held in Samarkand, Uzbekistan tomorrow. On the sidelines of the meeting, Hina Rabbani Khar will hold bilateral meetings with leaders of other participating delegations. In a statement, Foreign Office spokesperson Mumtaz Aura Baloch said the neighboring countries of Afghanistan mechanism was established in 2021 on Pakistan's initiative with a view to evolving a regional approach on the situation in Afghanistan. She said the mechanism will contribute towards forging a consensus among the neighboring countries of Afghanistan, who are the most direct stakeholders of the situation in the war-torn country. The spokesperson said Pakistan will continue to support all efforts to advance the shared objective of a peaceful, stable, sovereign, prosperous and connected Afghanistan. A protest demonstration was held in Muzaffarabad today against Modi government's attempts to change the demographic composition of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Meanwhile, to highlight Kashmiri's struggle for right to self-determination, international walker Khalzada Kasrat Rai held a long peace walk in the UK from Manchester to outside Indian High Commission in London. The incarcerated chairman of All Parties Hurriyat Conference, Musarrat Alam Butt, has said that by holding the G20 meeting in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Modi-led fascist Indian government is maliciously attempting to hide its crimes in the territory. Musarrat Alam Butt, who is presently lodged in New Delhi's infamous Tihar jail, in a letter addressed to the G20 members, wrote that India has no justification to hold the G20 meeting in the UN-designated disputed land. He said that since 1989, around 1 million Indian troops have been deployed in Kashmir, making the territory one of the most highly militarized regions in the world, where human rights abuses including rape, killing, torture and destruction of properties occur on a massive scale. Another senior APAC leader, Naeem Ahmed Khan, who is also imprisoned in Tihar jail, in a statement urged the G20 nations not to provide India an opportunity to pose as a responsible stakeholder by attending its meeting in the territory. Other APAC leaders in their statements in Srinagar said actions like holding of G20 meeting in Srinagar cannot change the disputed status of Jammu and Kashmir. A delegation of Iran has arrived in Saudi Arabia to prepare for reopening of Tehran's embassy in Riyadh and a consulate at Jeddah. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Nasser Kanani said in a statement that the Iranian delegation will take necessary measures in Riyadh and Jeddah to reopen the embassy and consulate general. Earlier, both countries' foreign ministers had met in Beijing this month in more than 7 years after China brokered the agreement to restore relations between the two countries. In Myanmar, more than 100 people are feared to have been killed in airstrike by the military. The spokesman from the military junta, General Zaw Min Tun, in a statement at state television, has confirmed the airstrikes. He said the airstrikes were carried out at a ceremony of opening of an office for local volunteer defense force. The United Nations has condemned the attack, which targeted a village in the northwestern Sagyang region. And finally, the weather report. Dry weather is expected in most parts of the country, while hot in central and southern parts during the next 12 hours. And now the headlines once again. Prime Minister has reiterated government's firm commitment to provide maximum relief to deserving people in the wake of inflation. Interior Minister has warned of strict action against elements involved in smuggling and their facilitators. The British government has offered all possible help for the people of Pakistan in mitigating socio-economic crisis. Minister of State for Foreign Affairs will lead Pakistani delegation at the 4th meeting of the neighboring countries of Afghanistan in Samarkand tomorrow. All Parties Hurriyat Conference says by holding G20 meeting in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Modi-led fascist government is attempting to hide its crimes. And an Iranian delegation has arrived in Saudi Arabia to finalize arrangements for reopening of embassy in Riyadh and consulate in Jeddah. And that is all for now. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News.